Hi, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week, I am using one of my favorite decks. It is the Seer's Tarot. And I am joined by my kitty Merlina, which I think she might be a bit of a problem, so I might have to put her in another room. She's suddenly very, very active and chit-chatty and a little bit whiny as per usual. So my intention with this reading, as always, is to get a nice overview of the week ahead and the various energies and opportunities that lie before us and how we can make the most of those. So I'm drawing 3 cards. Each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. Now, before we dive into the reading, I want you to have a good look at these 3 cards and just notice if you feel more drawn to one of these cards than the others. As I do the weekly reading, I think that whatever card you choose is going to have a little more significance, a little bit more of a special message for you. All the cards are going to apply to you, but the one card that you choose will be extra significant or extra special. All right, let's begin. So the first card is for the beginning of the week, so Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And here we have a major arcana card, number 21, the World. So we're starting off with a really powerful card. So we're starting off on a really powerful note. And the World is actually the last card in the major arcana, and it symbolizes completion. We've made it to the end, we've arrived, and so it can symbolize kind of tying up loose ends, finally kind of figuring something out, getting some kind of closure, kind of wrapping things up with a bow, and completing a project or completing something. And I'm really drawn to the circle on this card that this woman is in. And if you look closely, it's a snake and it's biting its own tail. And I'm just really drawn to that circle. And there's something that's calling me about the circle. And it's making me think of circling something. If there's something that you want to complete this week, I almost see you writing a to-do list, and then there's all this stuff and you're like, what do I focus on? What's most important? And then choosing one of those things and drawing a circle around it. And that is your focus for the week. That's what I'm getting from this card. I know that's not necessarily the traditional way of interpreting this card, but that's the kind of intuitive message I get from this card is focusing on one thing at the beginning of the week. And if you make that your focus, there's a high probability you're going to be able to achieve that thing or complete something. There's this energy of getting it done and completing. I also get a sense of openness with this card. So the woman on this card, her posture is open. She has her arms open wide. She's walking in this very kind of dancey kind of way, she's kind of prancing, and she's looking upward and smiling. And so right away, I'm getting kind of 3 simultaneous ideas on how you can actually make the most of this week. Whatever it is that you're trying to do this week, whether you're trying to be more focused, or you're trying to get a lot of stuff done, or maybe you're working on healing a relationship or relationships, or maybe you're trying to find your life purpose and just get things figured out. Whatever is going on for you in your life, 3 things that are going to really help. Other than the prioritizing and focusing on one thing at a time, is this looking upward. So the fact that she's looking up at the sky and smiling, to me, that is a symbol of connecting spiritually to the greater whole. So not getting stuck in the day-to-day grind of life where you can only kind of see what's in front of you and you sort of lose your connection to the bigger picture. So the world is saying, don't forget that you are you are a part of a greater whole, and at any time that you choose, you can connect into that energy of the greater whole, and that will actually bring you a sense of energy, of focus and support. So it's like you will feel more supported when you tap into that energy of the bigger picture. And there's different ways that you could do it, like meditation, journaling, affirmations, whatever method works for you. And then the other thing I get is this openness. Her posture is very kind of almost loosey-goosey, kind of like it's very open, it's very relaxed. And approaching life this week from this place of openness and not really relaxation, but there's just this casual feeling with the way she's walking. And it's almost saying, don't be too severe or too focused in what you're doing. Keep moving forward, but remain soft, remain open. And then I said that there was a third thing that jumped out at me, and now I don't remember what that third thing was. So let's move on. Let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2 is for the middle of the week. And here we have a very, very different card from the world. We have the 5 of Swords. Now, the guy in the 5 of Swords is really going through it. You know, he looks like he has a mega headache, and he's just hating life right now. And then there's this jerk in the background who's like cheering. And this guy's like, ugh, I just don't want to be here with this jerk in the background. And there's a crow on his shoulder, which I feel kind of could be a spirit helper or a spirit guide trying to get his attention. Yeah, okay, so let's sit with this card for a moment. And this is something I do when I first turn over a card if it doesn't make sense right away and I'm like, I don't know where to take this reading. I'm not sure what to say about this card yet. I just sit with it for a moment. So midweek, there's going to probably be, for most of us, some sort of challenge might arise. And it's going to be fairly minor in nature, but sometimes minor challenges will feel like major challenges when we're going through them. So when we're first faced with them, it might feel like this big thing. And then once we figure things out and we look back on it, we're like, oh, that was like nothing. That was like a little bump in the road. So that's just something to keep in mind as you move through this week, that minor challenges might seem like major challenges at first, but they won't be. And what I'm getting with this card is you might need to take a little time out and get a little bit of space from other people midweek. So don't force yourself to be more outgoing or more social than you feel. People might really get on your nerves midweek, and you might find it hard to really celebrate other people's successes. Like there might be people in your life who like to flaunt their successes in this really obnoxious way. And you're just like, oh, I can't even deal with this right now. So making sure you take time away from people, you're actually going to be able to enhance the quality of your connections with others and truly appreciate others when you take time for yourself. So if you try to force yourself to be more social and more outgoing than you want to be, you're quickly going to start resenting people in your life and they're going to start getting on your nerves. So make sure you have some downtime where you can just relax and breathe and be yourself. Okay, end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish, we have the Magician. And this is really cool. Like we're really coming full circle here. We started with the World, which is the last major arcana card, and we're ending with the Magician, which is number 1 in the major arcana. The Magician isn't the first card. The first card is the Fool, which is number 0, but the Magician is number 1. in the major arcana. So what's really neat about the magician is we have this infinity symbol on his hood. And the symbol that stood out to me with the world was the snake biting its own tail, was that big circle right in the center. And the infinity symbol, if you just kind of twist the infinity symbol, it becomes a circle. So if you have like a hair band, like a hair elastic that's like in a circle, and then you just kind of tweak it, like twist it, it becomes a figure eight, an infinity symbol, and then twist it back and it's like a circle. So I think that that's interesting, that this is a very, there's that connection between those two symbols. Okay, so let's talk about the magician and what the magician means for us at the end of the week. So the magician is all about making things happen and manifesting things and taking action and paying attention to your intent and your focus. The magician is really good at figuring out what exactly he wants to bring into existence, what he wants to create or manifest, and then focusing on that thing, bringing his attention to that thing, and channeling his energy, whether it's mental energy, physical energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy, into his creation. So what it means for us is that the end of the week is a really good time to kind of take stock and set our intentions for the next week and get clear about what it is we're trying to create, what it is we're wanting to manifest or make happen or change, and to actually get an action plan. It's not enough just to have the intention or to have the idea or to be like, okay, I want to do this or I want to do that. We actually have to be more organized than that. We have to make a plan and we have to figure out like, okay, what actions am I actually going to take? Otherwise, we run the risk of just sort of treading water and having good intentions, but not really going anywhere with them. So the magician is encouraging you to be more organized and intentional and to have a plan, to make an action plan. Okay, so let's zoom out and look at all of these cards together. And let's see if there's any other messages that come through. It's so interesting that the woman in the world is looking up, smiling, and then these other two guys are looking down and kind of scowling. The magician, I don't think, is scowling, but the guy in the Five of Swords is definitely scowling. The magician looks like he's just focused. He's just concentrating. And what I think is interesting is the beginning of the week is this openness, this open-heartedness, this like joyfulness, being open to new ideas and possibilities. And that big circle is like this, it's like this potential. It's like what is possible. There's this real sense of possibility with the world. And then with the magician, this is about focusing. It's like, okay, all of these things are possible, but they can't all happen. We have to choose one thing to focus on at a time. And then focus and concentrate on that thing. And then the Five of Swords guy, it's really interesting because the world and the magician are both very empowered, really empowering cards to get. And then we have this guy in the middle, this Five of Swords guy who's like, my head hurts. And I think it just goes to show that we all encounter little bumps on the road, on our journey, on our path, and this week is no exception. And so don't let those bumps in the road bother you too much. It's just kind of par for the course. Just do what you can. Give yourself time. Give yourself space. Give yourself time and space to recharge your batteries as you move forward this week. And I also think that sometimes going from the world to the magician can be kind of headache inducing. So going from this place of everything that's possible, this feeling of love and light and all of that, to the magician, which is more about focusing on one thing at a time and taking physical real world action. It's like a shift from the spiritual to the physical. And there's something that's kind of a little bit headache inducing about that. So I feel like the guy in the Five of Swords is like experiencing that transition from going from being open and getting ideas to narrowing his focus and having to do real things in the physical world. There is something about that can be like kind of headache inducing. Okay, so I hope this reading made sense to you. I hope it was helpful. And as always, I invite you to share your own interpretations. I want to know what card you chose. At the very beginning, when I asked you, are you drawn to one specific card? I want to know what card you chose and if it made sense to you, like if that really spoke to where you're at right now and what you're doing, what you're going through. I'd love to hear it in the comment section. So I should mention that I have a blog on my website, dailytarotgirl.com, and I post these readings to my blog once a week. If you want to be on my blog's mailing list and get a little email, I send the email out every Sunday with my reading for the week ahead. If you want to get on that list and get these readings in your inbox, I'm going to put the link to do so just below this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.